Hi, I'm John Moss, and I'm asking for your vote in the upcoming special election for City Council on Tuesday, November the 8th. I'd like to take a moment just to let you know who John Moss is and who the Moss family is. You know, all of us have our own personal upbringings in life that shape us throughout our entire life. And I had a couple. One, through all my teaching, my parents always taught me, like the Bible says, for whom much is given, much is expected. And public service runs in my family, runs in my blood. And I can also remember going on a school trip to Arlington Cemetery, and I was of course, being in small grade school when the assassination happened, is a event you can remember. But the words that were on his memorial there stuck with me my whole life. On earth, the work of God must truly be our own. But life is somewhat of a struggle. As a small child, I was diagnosed as Crohn's when I was 11. And I had Crohn's all through my life. And from 11 years old to 17, I was in and out of hospitals more often than probably people went to the grocery store, it seems like. Emergency rooms were a weekly, if sometimes not a daily visit. It was a terrible struggle. Probably I didn't know how sick I really was. Gosh, my parents were champions. I'd be in the hospital for 8 weeks and they'd be there every day and every night. Well, fortunately at the end, I had surgery. And I was down to 95 pounds. Imagine 6'4" and 95 pounds. You are a string bean. And I wasn't doing very well. But you know, good people took care of me. And I responded back. And now it's been 40-something years and I've had no reoccurrence. That in of itself is a miracle. When you've been that sick and been that close to a personal struggle, you look at life differently. You know how precious it is, and you know about the sufferings of others because you can identify with it. You know what it takes to have to beat the odds, so to speak. And that's the kind of compassion that I think I bring to everyday life, to my job and to my family. That's why I'm active in Boy Scouts. I've taken boys to Philmont, the Northern Tier, for the last 16 years. Why I'm active in my church. Why I volunteer in lots of things. Because I know that people did the same for me when I was down and out and a small child. Do I remember all those things? No. Why? Because you remember the good things. Government can do good. Government is an instrument of good when it keeps its focus limited and empowers the private sector and doesn't take so much money that people can't afford to be generous with their money because they have some to give, but to be an enabler of giving and generosity. I think that's a perspective that we sometimes have lost in governance. It's become so much process-oriented and has lost the focus of dealing with people as individuals rather than as groups or categories, and everybody looking for a special favor, rather than empowering people to be the best that they can be and hold them accountable. All of us can be great. We really can in our own way. And our educational system and our community, that's what makes us great, not government. When government is small and nurturing, it's at its best. Today's government is too big and too intrusive. We need to make a change. But I wanted you to get a feel that that change comes from my heart of a life experience and commitment to our democratic principles. It's not a campaign slogan. It's not based on polls from someone telling me this is what people want to hear. Anyone who knows me knows I have had a life of public service dedicated to these principles because it's who I am. And I will be that same person when I'm elected after I serve. And I will not vote because I expect to get reelected. I will do what is best for the common good, independent of what it means about being reelected. Because what you owe from me is my oath of office. And that oath of office says that I'm going to do my best to uphold and defend the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that's the job description. And that's the job that I will do for you if you give me the honor of serving you. I'd appreciate your vote on Tuesday, November the 8th. Thank you.
Authorized and paid for by John D. Moss, campaign candidate.